Hi there, welcome to Prime Time. I'm Paul Orford, and today we're here with Viktoria from PSP Angels. Now, I'm always quite curious to speak to people from the PSP industry because I get inundated with people saying I have this massive need for X, Y, and Z. So I thought I'd bring along the industry leader to put my mind at rest, understand why I need it, and kind of the evolving way of the industry at the moment. So it's probably best, Viktoria, if you tell us, how did you get into this industry?
Right, so I used to work in Cyprus for 10 years, and I had my consulting, and I was always on the finance part. I used to work as a CFO for many different companies, and every time that I started with a new client, the problem always came with the payments. Right, the funds got stuck with the PSP, payment service provider. The bank closed the account on us. We cannot process cards. We need alternative payment methods. We need reconciliation. So always the problem with the payments. So around 2 years ago, I started to realize that there is a big need for something which is like a market screening of the current situation out there. I'm sure that everybody would agree with me that in this industry, everything is changing all the time, right? So to keep your finger on the pulse of the payment market, it takes a lot of time, dedication, effort. You either hire someone and then that person does it for you, but obviously is charging a hefty salary, or you need to be always up to date, keep in touch with the new payment service providers who open, feel the situation on the banking as well. So you need to dedicate a lot of time. So what usually happens is that if you need to change your current provider, or you're a startup, you need to find a new one, you start looking for it in Google, right? And then you start calling them one by one and apply. Now, the pre-application forms are all different. So 20 pages you fill out in red, 30 pages in blue. It's a lot of time. Now, this is what we do, completely free on behalf of you. We screen the market, giving you the options to understand that who would accept you, what price would be offered, what are the terms and conditions, and then you can actually make an informative decision where you put your own money, right? So that was the reason that we actually started PSP Angels around 2 years ago. Now we are, I would say, a well-known payment broker firm. We've got new requests, several new requests, almost like 10 new requests every week to find new payment service providers, and we always add new partners to our database. So right now we are working with over 100 good payment service providers who are specialized in different industries.
Cool. So as an owner, when you first started this, what was it like? I mean, was it hard to get the initial planning down? Because going from an idea to an actual product or a business, both like physically, mentally and psychologically, how hard is this?
It is hard, but everybody would tell you that, right? Once you have a startup company, once you've got a new idea, it's a whole different thing that you've got a good idea and you make it work, right? Yeah. So, of course, it's hard, but thankfully I had the experience from the financial aspects. Thankfully, I had the experience to see how it actually works in real life and what is the real need out there for such a service. So, at the beginning, I started to recommend different PSPs, payment service providers, based on my experience, but after that I started to really focus on finding the right one for the right industry. And meanwhile, many people are doing another way around. They have a client and they need to place it somewhere, which takes extra time. What we do, once you apply, you fill out one form and it's automatically immediately being sent out to hundreds of PSP partners, so you can be sure that there's no time wastage there.
Because here's something I find, whether it's liquidity or whatever, when you're taking something new on, is how much of a pain or effort does it take me as a new client to do this?
Exactly.
You can have the best service in the world, but if it takes me extra time from my day, does your service take care of this?
Of course, that's the whole idea, that we cut down your time of finding the right one, filling out the application, and we can actually advise you on the side that, listen, you need to notarize these documents during the compliance procedure, so you understand that, okay, what is the next one which is coming in the pipeline, so we are not wasting time. Obviously, we are just a broker. So what we can do once we do the introduction, obviously there is no contract between the client and us because it's a free service. But once we do the introduction, then it will be taken care of by the picked payment service provider or bank. So it's outside of our operation.
So it's kind of worth me as a client kind of coming to you because there's no upfront expense.
Yes.
You know, and you're doing all the hard work, and the cost isn't getting passed on to me, the client. Is that right, or have I got that completely wrong?
Yes, because we are generating interest for the payment service providers, we are getting a cut from that. So that's the business model. But because we negotiate the prices on behalf of you, we understand this business, and we are bringing a lot of volume to them. That's the benefit for them to give us the cut, and it doesn't cost you more.
Well, that's the thing. Prior to us coming on camera here, we were discussing about what is high risk, etc. And you'd be quite surprised what is high risk and what isn't. Okay, Forex we can all accept is high risk naturally, but other things such as like a yoga master online or something like that.
Exactly. So many people that don't even know that they are dealing with a high risk business, right? So once, for example, you're a tarot reader and you're providing services online, you are high risk. And you don't even know. So what I usually see is mainly for startups, they start a business, they allocate some funds to the marketing, to the sales, to the development, to the website, and the last thing that they think about is the payment. So what happens? They open a normal bank account, they open a normal payment service provider for card processing, and then they start trading. Now, once these banks figure out that what is the real industry behind it, they close the account. And then you're there without any possibility to collect funds from your clients. Operation is on hold and your costs are still going. So that's why it's very, very important to do all the legwork before you start trading, or when you actually start to work with a new payment provider. You need to understand the risks of the whole payment work overall.
Do you have like a typical client then? Is it like predominantly more startups or more mature businesses, or is it a mixture?
It's a big mixture, and we will not say no to businesses because we don't think that it's fair to refuse someone just because they don't have the right volume. Many gateways, for example, they do that. So we are trying to help you everyone. That's the whole idea. Low risk or high risk. Obviously, the guys who are in trouble are the high-risk clients. So I would say that 80% of our clients are high-risk. But the good thing is that the merchants, the clients are always coming back to us, because once they understand that how volatile is this market, everything is changing all the time, their business is changing, the providers are changing, there are new products introduced, there are new volumes, there are new markets, there are new territories. It's good to have a look of what is out there, I would say every half year, every year, based on your business. But that's the best to be ahead of the competition, to be always sure that what supplier that you're using is the best.
All right, cool. Well, let's wrap it up there. What's the best way for people to contact you? Is it your website, email? Do you want to tell them now?
Both.
Okay, what's your website?
It's www.pspangels.com. But they can also contact me an email, which is info@pspangels.com, or I'm sure that there's going to be a link on this. So click on the link and we can take care of that.
All right, thanks everyone. See you soon. Bye-bye.